Good evening. Cats abandoned on Otago Peninsula have killed so many of this season's yellow-eyed penguin chicks, the colony has been put at risk. And the situation has been made worse by vandals interfering with ferret traps set to protect the birds. Lee Davies reports nearly half the season's chicks have been killed in one area and many more deaths are expected.
The death toll is 36 chicks in 9 days.
Yeah, that's one night's work.
Some of these were only 2 weeks old, and ferrets actually pushed the mother birds from the nests to kill the chicks they were incubating. Cats were responsible for other deaths. Prior to Christmas, hundreds are dumped either at the SPCA or into the wild, and they have to eat.
There's something there that's easy to catch. That's what we're going to go for. If they dumped in central Otago, they wouldn't stand a chance. But down there, we've got the penguin chicks, and yeah, right, they're available. So I guess that's what happened.
Vandals interfering with traps at the nesting sites are also responsible for the disaster. A major trapping program's needed, but unlikely.
We need the resources to be able to move in rapidly and trap, remove these animals as fast as we possibly can.
Do you have these resources?
No, we don't have them.
Further trapping is being implemented by the Department of Conservation, but it's expected at least 15 more chicks will be lost before it takes effect.
The directors of Waitaki International are recommending shareholders accept the offer of 60 cents a share being made by Alliance. The offer is 7 cents higher than the current market value of the shares. The Commerce Commission has yet to approve the takeover. It declined initial clearance because of concerns about a monopoly in South Island meat processing. If the bid is successful, Alliance will acquire Waitaki's South Island works and some of its international marketing operations. Otago is hitting the world stage for its research into ME, or Tapanui flu, as it was first known here. A top Canadian researcher has made a special trip here to see current research and to drum up support for the first World ME conference at Cambridge University next year. Michael Lynch reports.
And you've got to nod your head and
the numbers are starting to tell tales when it comes to ME. Dunedin microbiologist Mike Holmes has just finished a big study on Dunedin sufferers, and he reckons ME is a retrovirus, similar to AIDS. But Canadian Byron Hyde, here especially to pick the brains of Dr. Holmes and other researchers, claims ME is an enterovirus, a hangover from the dreaded poliomyelitis virus.
We're concerned that the polio immunization that we're using in Canada, New Zealand, anywhere in the world, is a sort of antique. And it's effective for stopping death and paralysis, but it's not effective for the amount of illnesses is coming out associated with ME.
Which begs the question, presumably, are the present polio vaccines safe?
I'm definitely saying that the vaccines that we're using are not as good as they should be.
Is a person better then perhaps not to use vaccine?
Only if you want to die.
Byron Hyde is chairman of the Nightingale Foundation, set up specifically to fund ME research. He says there are 100,000 sufferers in North America alone, and whatever research New Zealand can come up with is sure to be an ear to listen.
Dunedin's 3 Commonwealth Games bowlers had a good pre-games outing today, with 1986 gold medalist Ian Dickison proving his worth at the Leith Green. He beat national singles champion and a controversial omission from the Games team, Gary Lawson, in the clash between the Dunedin centre and the touring emerging players. Here's Ken Nicholson.
Many northern critics had voiced disapproval at the omission of Lawson for the Games, and Dickison's determination to win this morning was made even greater by Lawson's emphatic 25-13 success over him yesterday. Today's match was a superb display of bowls from both players, the lead swapping several times before Lawson was forced to drive, ahead 23-22, but 3 down on the final end. And that was Lawson's own bowl. So in the end, Dickison was happy with the outcome of this testing preparation for the Games.
Today, we got the mind on the job.
Playing the likes of Gary, being a very good player and having that rivalry there, I mean, it's a good preparation going into the Games.
I kid him a bit about the pupil and the teacher, and not allowed to beat me twice in a row. Gary's a very, very talented player, no question about that, and he's getting better and better all the time.
What have you got between now and the Games then?
National championships are not too far away now, and then it's solid bowls, basically, from Christmas right through.
Stuart McConnell, who played lead in the pairs, suffered 2 defeats at the hands of the emerging players Ray Park, but his personal form is good enough to suggest he'll be peaking at Games time. Meanwhile, that brilliant natural bowler, Kevin Darling, led his four to a last-minute win with the type of bowls one expects from the man the world's top bowlers, David Bryant and Phil Scoglin, have described as the best shot player they've ever seen. His last two bowls in his 15-14 win were typical of the Dunedin bowler, who's proud of his return to the New Zealand team. And he says it'll be a real team effort at the Games.
We're all good mates together, and we've got to live together for so many days, and you've got to get on well and got everything ironed out, and we're good blokes together.
And the Games must mean a lot to you to be back in that team.
It certainly does, and I'm really thrilled about it.
Two local artists will be helping to reshape the country's impressions of the sub-Antarctic over the coming year. Photographer Lloyd Godman and painter Sean Burden have been down in the Auckland Islands as part of an expedition designed to kick off Southland Museum's new Roaring Forties gallery. Allan Baddock has been with them.
10 artists were shipped south in the last month and given 3 weeks to record images of our most southerly corner. Something of a rare privilege. Access to the Auckland Islands is by permit only, and those are usually reserved for scientists. But this time it was decided there was room for art among the science.
Scientists get permits and so forth, and the OK from Department of Conservation and funding to go there because of their peculiar vision and what they can bring back and offer, so that not everyone actually has to go there in a sense to experience it. And we, hopefully some of the material that we produce would be on a par to that, only a slightly different point of view.
There's plenty here to excite artistic talents. The idea is that by giving artists a chance to capture some of their impressions of the islands, we may all come to value them more. And after all the walking, watching and sketching, what impressions are we likely to be left with?
Contradictions. Also the scale of the place. The cliffs on the western side made me realise just how small man is in relation to them. And just left me wondering just how much can it be altered, or will it survive and overcome man's depredations anyway? The weather washes things away, washes footprints away, the beaches change, everything changes quite rapidly. But it's still too soon, I'm still digesting it.
While it may take some digesting, the banquet is due to be well and truly over by the time the Roaring Forties gallery opens in July, when a selection of the finished works will go on display.
And that's it from us. We'll see you in Invercargill at the Royal AMP show tomorrow. Good night.